Hi, my name is George Hahn, and today we'll be talking about some neat tools that you can use in your Telederm toolbox. Here are my disclosures. It's clear that during the COVID-19 pandemic, Telederm really has exploded in popularity, going from about 9 to 15% of dermatologists using it before the pandemic up to well over 90%. The problem, though, is that it hasn't really increased patient numbers overall. It's provided a safe and effective way to triage some patients, but it hasn't really delivered on the promise of expanding access to care. I think part of that is because we're using imperfect tools, and a lot of us have been frustrated by some of the experiences where we're seeing blurry pictures like this and being expected to make diagnoses from them. So how do we fix it? Key features when you're looking for a good Telederm platform really should include high-resolution video that's minimally compressed, low downtime. During the early part of the pandemic, a lot of the servers were slammed and you were getting really poor video quality. Ability to rotate between forward-facing and rear-facing cameras. That's important to get better quality images. Capability to send static images to you prior to the visit. And flexibility for your patient to be able to use an app or a browser, their phone or their computer, whatever they'd like to do. And bonus features include integration into the EMR so the patient automatically gets arrived and you can start the visit, scheduling ability through the app and charge capture so you can set your own prices and collect copays. But what are some bonus features that are kind of more different and interesting? One of them I think is full resolution image capture. And this idea is that when you're doing a visit, instead of just having a blurry screen cap from a video signal, you can actually get a full resolution image from the camera itself, and this is called provider-directed image capture. You can see here just with a screen capture from a video, it's pretty blurry on the left side. And with this full resolution image capture that you can emulate taking an actual picture that you direct on your side, you can get a much better quality image from it. Other bonus features include secure messaging. One of the problems we always have nowadays are kind of coordination of care, right? So you have your patient and you have your office staff, you have the pharmacy, everybody's in their own little silo. And some of the software out there that has telemedicine as a feature also includes the secure messaging to help communication. One such company here, Clara, as you can see here, you can have a patient actually send you some questions with some pictures and you can respond to them directly. You can set your own charges for this, so it's nice. You can capture that as well. And in addition to this, you can also send information over to the pharmacist if they need a clarification on an order or something like that as well. Other bonus features, I think thinking about practice management, there are some tools that technology can help with, and some of these tools are built into some of the telemedicine platforms. So if you think about one of the big problems in our offices, it's close-in cancellations and also no-shows. So what happens is that if a patient calls in, let's say in the morning or the day before, they're not feeling well, they're having trouble with transportation, they can't get to your office, that visit, it's very hard to fill because it's so close in now. And one of the things that you can do is, first of all, you can offer that patient a virtual visit, a video visit, rather than having them come in person. So if the patient agrees to that, you can go through a workflow and eventually do a virtual visit with that patient. What if they don't want to do that or they can't do that? You can give them an alternative appointment somewhere later on down the road, but you can use technology to help fill in that gap. Because I think a lot of practices, it's hard to expect a manual wait list to go through and calling all these people to try to fill a slot. Well, the software can actually build an automated wait list for you, and it can go through and ping each of these patients to try to figure out who can fill that slot and maximize your productivity. Easy cosmetic follow-ups. I think this is an interesting point. A lot of times people routinely bring in patients for follow-ups, and it's been shown that this actually increases retention, so patients are more likely to stay with your practice and do future cosmetic procedures with you, and that's pretty important here. After instituting a mandatory 2-week follow-up, this group showed that the retention rates increased by 12%. But what happens when the patient just comes in and you don't have to do anything, they're very happy with it? Well, you've made them come into your office and you've used a slot for an in-person visit that you could have used seeing somebody else. So telemedicine is a perfect way to have an initial triage or initial check-in for a cosmetic visit. in a lot of cases, you can save that patient time from having to come in, and you can save yourself a slot on your schedule. What about AI for image capture? Some new technology is available to help improve our image capture so we can get more accurate pictures of what's going on in our patients. One example is this showing consistent poses, right? So that's something that you would want perhaps when a patient is seeing you again for follow-up. You want them to be in the same position that they were the first time. So this shows a patient who's doing a certain pose, and the next time they come in, it'll save that wireframe of the pose, and it won't snap the image till the patient recreates that exact same pose. So that's helpful for you getting consistent pictures over time. What about focus? We all have gotten blurry pictures. That's a pretty easy thing to control for with AI and technology as well. So you can get non-blurry photos, as well as photos in enough lighting. So the software itself can detect how much lighting there is in the environment and will not capture a picture until there's enough lighting, and it'll send a prompt to the patient telling them that the environment is too dim. And background removal, so it's not cluttered, so you can really focus on what's going on the surface of the skin. That's something pretty easy to do with technology. The last thing I'll mention is skin of color. It might not surprise a lot of us that there's some racial bias built into photography itself. This was a card circulated in the 1970s called the Shirley card that really optimized image capture for light colored skin tones and white skin. The problem is that in dark skin tones, there was a compromise, and it wasn't really until chocolate manufacturers and corporate furniture manufacturers complaining about the brown tones not coming out well that there was innovation in photography. And we need that in Telederm too, because we get too many cases where we see pictures like this. You really can't tell what's going on in this patient, and we need better skin of color photography. So that's something that we're working on as well, getting better skin tones, getting better accurate reproduction of these images. And I think it's important to put into context, if we don't figure out a better way to improve teledermatology, somebody else is going to do it, and we're going to be left picking up the pieces. So hopefully this gives you a couple of tools that we can look forward to in the future. Thank you.